everybody, Ben and Nob here, and today we are back doing our third installment of HL Triple Dub. How long would we wait?
I guess that works.
Isn't that
good? This is a pseudo game show that we just made up.
Because it's Sunday and we have nothing better to do.
Where we take our kitchen utensils and put sticky notes in them and decide how long we'd wait for rides at Universal. Why? Because we're nerds like that, and that's what we like using our Sundays for.
Tell us what you do on your Sundays, because this is our fun time. So we have gone through a number of the Universal rides at both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. I don't know what's left. I think I might have glanced at a mummy card in here as I was trying to get them unstuck.
Because that
worked
a great
well.
idea. Yeah.
But if you want to see any of our answers for previous rides, I couldn't tell you what they are.
Nope.
We'll link the other two videos in the description box though, so you can go explore those. Eventually, we will cover them all.
Real quick, the way this works, if you haven't tuned into the other ones, we have our bowl, our mixing bowl from the kitchen, because that's what we still have. We haven't upgraded to anything more than that.
No, not a hat.
Not a bowl. Actually,
It is a bowl. It is a bowl.
It is a bowl. We'll pick a ride or attraction out of the bowl, and we will secretly or semi-secretly write down how long we would wait for each, and then we will debate. Let's just get on with the first one.
First and foremost, today's starting ride. How long would we wait? HL Triple Dub. I'm gonna make that stick.
No, we're not.
Hulk. The Hulk is a great coaster.
Roller coaster. Very rough.
You can't really miss it. It's beautiful. It's green, and it is pretty spectacular at nighttime, I think, as far as just the look of it. But it spins you upside down, I don't know how many times.
It'll rock you, that's for sure.
Yeah, it will rock you. And the coolest part, I would say, would be a matter of the launch.
I'm dead at the time.
You shoot out of that launch. It's intense.
As opposed to Velocicoaster, Hulk really emphasizes the positive G-forces, so like the pinning you back in your seat. Which is why a lot of people will be like, oh, I browned out, or it's super rough, or something like that, as opposed to Velocicoaster, which is all about the negative Gs and the airtime moments that Velocicoaster has.
Hulk is shooting you into your seat and
keeps you there.
Keeps you there, that's for sure. So, without further ado.
3, 2, 1. As I throw my marker.
What'd you pick?
45 minutes.
45 minutes?
We're off to a great start.
Is this the first time we've matched on these?
I don't know. We've done 2 other ones, and I don't know at this point. The queue of Hulk is good. It's pretty good. There's enough to look at. It's not crazy themed or in-depth like some of the other attraction queues, but it's good enough that we'll wait a little bit. And then the ride itself, like we said, it's probably one of our top 3 to 4.
If you want a good roller coaster, it's a good one. It gets you pretty jacked up to start the day. One thing I do want to note with Hulk is that you do have to put your stuff in lockers. You're not going to bring a phone with you in the queue. And so that does kind of diminish how long I'm willing to stand around if I don't have a phone to post on, to text on, to do things on. Even if Ben's with me right there, there's still, distractions as you go. If you're waiting 60 minutes plus, like, you gotta do some games, right? And so Hulk and Velocicoaster both do a really good job at loading people onto their rides in big groups. I don't think Hulk is as much of a people eater. You move pretty quick through the queue. And so even if it said it's a 45-minute posted wait, I still think you'll get on sooner than that. But if we're talking about actual amount of time I'm willing to wait, I can comfortably say I'll wait 45 minutes to ride Hulk.
Next ride.
You know what would be funny is if we actually put these in a bread bowl to pick out of. It'd be a snack and a useful tool.
You just want carbs.
I could go for a sourdough bread bowl. Oh.
Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls. Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls is a log flume water ride attraction. Culminating in a very large drop under a bridge.
It is Universal's equivalent to, what's the ride called now? Splash Mountain. which is, getting rethemed anyway over at the Mouse Park.
The thing about Ripsaw Falls is, and we've said it every time I think we talk about Ripsaw Falls, is the awkward seating arrangement, especially if you're not with your organic party. Because it is a log flume, you end up sort of straddling the people around you.
Tallest person's in the back and smallest person's in the front.
And so if you're straddling people that aren't your party, it can get a little weird, but...
You're gonna get wet. Not as wet as Popeyes. I would be curious how many people watch us and have actually watched Dudley Do Right.
Probably not many by this point. But
yeah,
that could be said about the entirety of Toon Lagoon. Is Toon Lagoon
older,
due for a retheme?
Yeah, and well, we'll get into reasons why our wait times are what they are here soon enough. How do I guess it? 15 minutes.
20 minutes plus an additional 10 if it's really hot out.
Like if it's hot out, you're willing to wait 30.
And I want to ride a water ride.
You want to get kind of cooled off. I don't want to wait very long to ride Dudley Do Right. The queue is already long enough, and it's boring, in my opinion. The queue is quite boring.
Although we get spoiled at Universal with how awesome the queues are.
It's just like, I don't mind waiting in a line, but I want something to look at, and Dudley Do Right really doesn't have that for you. Not until you get pretty darn close to the front of the entire line before you get on the log. I'm not a huge log flume fan anyway, so it kind of already has that going against it for me. I think I'm being generous on saying I'd give it a 15-minute wait.
We have waited for Dudley Do Rights for almost an hour and a half.
It said it was supposed to be a 20-minute wait at the time.
It was a lot to handle.
It was... I think
we debated for a long time getting on a line.
We did.
I hesitate to say that I would do that again, even though we had no idea how long the queue was actually going to be.
It said 20 minutes.
And so we just kept thinking that we were getting closer and getting closer and getting closer, and we had to be getting closer and we had to be getting closer, and it just kind of never got any closer.
It was a really long wait. And again, there was nothing to look at or do. So...
Because you put your stuff in a locker because you don't want it to get wet.
I mean, you can take it on with you if you want, but it's not one that they force you to. And something to note is that for the water rides like Dudley Do Rights, like Popeye and Bluto's, even Jurassic Park River Adventure, those lockers are lockers you have to pay for. Yep. They're not free like the other options. If you enjoy a good long drop on a log flume ride and you don't mind getting wet, especially in the hot summer months, like it's worth a ride, but not a long wait.
Don't wait long. Yep.
No. Which of these? Left or right?
Left.
Ooh, I did tell you it was in here. The Mummy.
Mummy is a indoor dark roller coaster.
So fun.
The story being that the Mummy, you're at the filming of the Mummy, and Imhotep is...
The Mummy, the movie, just to be clear.
Yeah.
With Brendan Fraser.
As opposed to what?
The original.
Oddest Bay.
Yeah, way back when.
Way back when.
So... Brendan Fraser's the Mummy, and...
No, he's not.
No.
In the Mummy. Brendan Fraser's Mummy.
Apostrophe S Mummy. Yeah. Anyway, you're at the filming of it, and everybody has their amulet that keeps them safe from Imhotep, and Brendan Fraser doesn't necessarily believe in that. He wants to take one of the...
He wants his coffee.
Yeah, long story short, Brendan wants his coffee, and everyone's going to pay for that.
Yep.
Really.
You volunteer and it goes terribly wrong.
As most Universal rides do.
3, 2, 1.
45 minutes.
60 minutes.
I was almost gonna put 60 minutes. I'm not that patient. But I would say that Universal, if it lists at 60 minutes for the Mummy, I think you're probably gonna get on in 45.
Probably. I think
no promises.
The queue is cool enough. There's cool enough like details with it of you're walking through the tomb, the pyramid, whatever you want to call it. It is probably the Museum of Antiquities officially, but there's tons of little sarcophagus and the giant statue of Anubis, which are really cool. And then there's little things that you can do, like if you and a person press the hand thing at the same time, air spits out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Super cool. The ride itself
pretty neat.
is great. There's good drops, there's good graphics, especially now that they've redone them and gotten them in a higher quality. But yeah, all in all, great ride over at Studios in a park that actually has a fairly few actual like roller coasters in it.
Right. I think aside from Gringotts on the studio side, the Mummy's right up there, one of our favorite rides. And pretty good AC as you walk in.
That is a great part.
Talk about being cool on the inside.
And the stilt walkers are pretty cool if they're out and about.
Yes.
Prior.
Another one.
Fast and Furious.
No. It's gonna be an interesting one to answer. Pterodon Flyers. I will wait for you.
3, 2, 1.
I'll wait forever.
Infinity. I went, who knows? And we're still waiting.
Someday we'll get on Pterodon Flyers.
Yep. Really,
Someday.
The only reason that we can't tell you is we've never ridden it and we've never had an opportunity to ride it. So I don't know how long to tell you, or if you want to take another different perspective, we're still waiting to ride the ride.
We're waiting forever.
We've been waiting for years. Taylor?
Come on. Pick us in that, what is it?
Virtual queue or lottery.
Yeah, the lottery, that's what it is. We've also had some really sweet people offer their children to us.
We're probably not going to take that because it gets a little weird.
I like the idea, but
the
actually
part.
making it happen gets me a little nervous.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Simpsons.
Ugh. Let's talk about the Simpsons ride. The Simpsons is a 3D, 4D motion simulator ride that formerly was the Back to the Future ride. And it is in a big IMAX theater. You're in, I want to say a DeLorean, but that's what it used to be. You're in like a crusty land car.
Crusty mobile.
Yeah. And you volunteering goes terribly wrong.
Shocker.
Long story short. You're watching The Simpsons go on this adventure. I don't know what Ben put. I'm trying not to look out of my periffs. How long would I wait though? Well, it depends on how long I want to wait until Ben gets motion sick. All right, 1, 2, 3. I don't know what you say.
Please no.
What you said. 15 minutes.
We've waited for Simpsons for actually probably a decent amount of time before.
The very first time we ever rode it, it had a pretty short wait time.
Or it said it did.
But we waited for quite a while. I think we probably, yeah. It might have been like a 30-minute wait time, and we used Express, and then we got in, and then we still waited just as long. But the last time we did it recently, it was pretty darn quick. They were loading people through pretty fast.
I'm not a huge fan of Simpsons. Like Aubrey said, it gets me pretty good in terms of the motion sickness. We'll ride it probably once a year.
The annual ride.
And just to remind us of why we don't want to ride it. And at this point in the year, we've ridden it once for the year, and I will probably not ride it again unless we take somebody new and they're diehard on The Simpsons.
The thing that gets me is that, like, I know they had to retheme it from Back to the Future and then retheme it to Simpsons, and eventually they're going to have to change it again. All the movements are the exact same. It's the exact same story, just with Simpsons face on it and not, just Biff.
Good job, engineers.
Yeah. I mean, that was well done, but I want something fresh. So, like, whenever they have to get rid of Simpsons Land, because at some point they will. I mean, I'm fine with the whole IMAX theater thing. I'm fine with the motion simulator. I want a new story, and I want new movements, which means it might be a whole overhaul, which means you might just have to redo the whole thing. But I would like that. Something new. Your pick.
High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride.
We've waited so long for this ride before.
I think I left my sanity at this ride before.
The poor workers.
High in the Sky is call it a people mover sort of ride. It's a train ride that's high in the sky. And
it's all in the name, isn't it?
It's all in the name. And you'll mosey around Seuss Landing and you'll see the story of the Sneetches, but also get great views of the park, which is why most people ride it.
Or there are 2 different routes. Yeah. You could also hear the Seuss alphabet, which is another. There's two different ways it'll take you. I feel like half the time you never know what you're gonna get. Yep. But
people ride it for the views of the park
and to take their little children on the ride. But we ride it for the views.
Yep.
So.
How
the
long?
The queue has some interesting music, and if you want to hear how it sounds, Ben will imitate it for you. Listen to that for 60 minutes or the whole day. How long would we wait? Like I said, we've waited a really long time for this ride before.
We've waited.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. We waited probably over an hour for this ride before, and like I alluded to, I'm pretty sure I left my sanity at the 30 to 45 minute mark. So if you're a team member that works high in the sky Seuss Trolley train ride,
God bless you.
God bless you. I don't know how you deal with the music for your entire shift. 3, 2, 1. 15 minutes.
25 minutes.
That's about. I debated going longer, but then I thought of the music in the queue and I was like, absolutely not.
Well, if 30 minutes is the point that you become insane, I thought I'd shoot right underneath
it.
You know?
Yeah, I just don't want to get that close again.
It is a cute ride.
One that you should ride both day and night.
Yes.
Because the night does change the feel, different views of the park. You see the Marvel and Hulk and Velocicoaster all lit up, which is great to see from that sort of moving platform.
But don't wait too long.
Don't wait too long, especially if you don't have kids that are not diehard to ride it. Don't wait that long.
We stood in line with a lot of kids, a lot of screaming.
It was brutal.
Last one! The one we're finishing with today. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
It's a good one.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is a 3D, 4D motion simulated ride. It was opened with Islands of Adventure back in 1999 and has relatively remained unchanged since, which is amazing.
Stan Lee is an Easter egg in this ride. At least 3 times, or is he 4?
No, it's more than that. Yeah.
I think it's 4. But it's pretty fun to be able to see him in the ride. If you haven't noticed it before, or if you haven't seen him, check it out. Especially the one on the dump truck. Not garbage truck, not dump truck, garbage truck. Spider-Man's a pretty cool ride.
Very cool.
Like, if you've been on Transformers on the studio side, they are made in the same way. Personally, I prefer Spider-Man. Others may debate that. But for a ride that first came out when the park opened, I didn't give it very high hopes the very first time we rode Spider-Man, and it blew me out of the water. I was very impressed by it, and I still love going on the ride today. So, how long would we wait?
3, 2, 1.
I wasn't ready. 35 minutes.
45 minutes. I debated going an hour.
No.
But then I was like, no, it's not that good. It's good. It's not that good.
Yeah.
Queue's all inside, which is super.
No, it's not.
No, you're right. The extended queue is not.
It is not, and that is one of the reasons I kept
I've never seen the extended queue. I've never, thank God.
We've seen it. We just have never ever gotten in line to use it.
Thank God.
That's one of the reasons I would keep the wait time down to get on the ride, is because when you go inside and get in the regular queue, you've got AC. And you've got Spider-Man things to be looking at and themed.
At the Daily Bugle.
At the Daily Bugle.
Is it the most exciting queue? Jonah Jameson?
Yeah, Yeah, sorry to say that 3 times fast. But what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna stand out in the sun staring at the Jonah Jameson statue to wait to get on that ride, because it's a good ride, but it's not that good.
The queue's okay. It's definitely an aged queue.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the details and the theming that the newer queues at Universal do, and it's not nearly as exciting as some of the newer queues.
It'd be hard to do that because it's based on the comic
It's based off the comic, which are naturally old.
But. Yeah, like for making it look like the comic, they did a really good job. It's less immersive than other queues, but it is still a really good ride once you get up there. And again, I'm just gonna keep preaching how like impressed I was by such an old ride that still does such a great job X amount of years later.
Highly recommend, one of our top rides in Islands of Adventure, and definitely a must ride every time we go to the parks. Let us know how long you'd wait for these rides, or how long you have waited for these rides. Tell us a story, because like that'd be super interesting to know. Is like, what's one of those rides that you thought was going to be a short wait but ended up being really long, and how did you deal with it?
Who else has waited a massive amount of time for Seuss Trolley Train and gotten a little crazy while doing it?
If you got something out of this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stick around for more Universal content. Thanks for watching. Bye.